I whew. So I just don't see any of my people out here. I mean, everybody went home. To be honest with you, I don't even know what time is it. It's 2:30. It's 2:30 in the morning. So like all our guys are home, and somebody came back, and that's when they woke me up. And at this point, I'm not out here without the vest. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I didn't see what happened, family. I know it's be safe. I know that much. What happened? What happened?
Someone's getting CPR right now.
He got shot in his chest. Are you? So hold on. I'm recording it live. You don't need to be on camera, but maybe can you come to this side over here? This is where the microphone is, and just tell me what you saw.
I saw a guy, blood on his face. His shirt is torn off. He's getting CPR. He's been shot, and what I heard is they're bringing in a helicopter.
They're bringing a helicopter.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
if you walk 20 feet that way, you'll see a guy getting CPR right now.
All right. Well, I don't.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, Bobby, I just saw your call. So at least I know Bobby is okay. There's somebody talking about this. People are talking about this. It's clearly at this point that they said that the medics are doing CPR. They also said something about a helicopter, but we're only 6 blocks from Harborview, which is like level 1 trauma center, one of the best trauma centers in the world. So I don't know about a helicopter. I mean, light flight, I don't think can even land over here. There's electrical wires overhead, but we're 6 blocks. We're 6 blocks from Harborview Medical Center.
What the fuck the police gotta do? We out here acting a motherfucking monkey.
Bobby, you see where I'm at? Bobby. Hey, what's up, TK?
Gunshots, somebody can pack this shit up and call it over. Gunshots down, pack it up, call it over. Pack it up, call it over. It don't matter, it doesn't matter. Gunshots were fired. That gives them enough ample reason.
They're saying someone got shot. They're trying to get him out to Harborview right now.
Listen. They're coming for this, for sure. Somebody just got shot over, they're coming. Watch this. They're plotting on this. They're going to hear this on the news, and they're going to fucking come.
Bobby, this is where I'm at. I can say I've never seen this many people inside of the actual medics tent. The medics tent's over there to the left. And you guys that follow the stream know that we don't even record in that tent because video on the everyday is not allowed over there into this tent area. Video is not allowed. There's so many people right now in that tent. We see lots of flashlights, some of the security personnel, some of the medical personnel that are out here. I'm going to fall back out here in the sense that I just don't have enough understanding as to what's going on. I see all the clues and hints of everything, and I don't know if you guys can hear the whisper. Ooh, damn, the whispers that it's not whispers, but it's lots of different conversations that are occurring out here. Lots of different, like I said, conversations. something definitely occurred. You know, people are the guy who we just talked to off camera was saying like, you know, I go over to the tent, you can see the guy laid out. I mean, clearly that's not what I'm gonna do. We're gonna remain here at a distance. I'm out here in some slides at the moment. Do got the vest on, but I'm out here by myself. So now they're saying that medics are on the way. Okay, so it sounds like, is there anybody that's on that scanner? If you guys will put this in here, okay, is there anybody that has a report of medic 1 being dispatched up here to Nagel, 10th and Nagel? If there's anybody that monitors that. Okay, DOA, Rancho Bravo. Shit. Oh. All right, let's whew. Bobby, this is where I'm at. Bobby, I think it's a discussion here as to how they're going to transport this individual. How they're transporting. Okay, there's somebody in the air. There's somebody. The medics are moving. Medics are on the move.
Hey, civilians, fall back! Civilians, fall back!
They're asking for civilians to fall back. It's a lot of security over there. There's security that's over there. The medical tent is now emptied out. I don't know if the issue here might very well be transport. Bobby, this is where I'm at. Bobby, I'm on 10th and Nagel. Carolyn, call Bobby.
Take that nigga and go. Why are they still arguing?
We got medics going different directions here. We got some other stuff that's breaking out. I'm gonna take a step back over here. I don't know if they're trying to get. I guess this is a real life or death situation here, everybody. You know what I'm saying? I've approached this very cautiously. In my reporting, there goes Medic 1. Medic 1 is now heading eastbound on Pine. Medic 1 just passed eastbound on Pine. This appears to be 100% a life or death situation as they're trying to move whoever the shooting victim is out of here into Harborview Medical Center. I would suppose is the next place where they will be going. Harborview Medical Center, Level 1 Trauma Center, is about 6 blocks away from here, just off of Bourne Street. And we got, man, it's a volatile space right here. Bobby, I don't know if you're around. There he is. There's Bobby.
Unorganized fucking. Oh my God, dude. I'm sorry. Dude, this is not okay.
No, of course it's not okay.
Fucking okay. At fucking all. I'm fucking not okay with any of this shit.
All right, all right.
Fucking over.
You niggas is wrong. You niggas had him here for 30 minutes. You should have been had him on the truck.
That's not us. Let's get
Man,
let's pull back.
I'm just happy to see you. Okay.
I called you.
All right, I know you called me. I went live.
Jake!
Jake fell back. He's over here somewhere. Yeah. So, looks like Bobby was up front. So I'm sure. So, Bobby's saying we're moving. So we're gonna move.
They're coming in here.
Not okay, man.
We're gonna move. Okay.
This
Here come the
is not
police.
okay.
Here come the
This
police.
is not okay.
Here come officers have responded to the border. Officers have responded to the border over here. Yeah, no, I mean, I got flashes on. I got flashes on. Officers are now responding to the border.
Too little, too late.
And the police are now responding to the border here. That's Broadway. We're looking westbound into Broadway right there, and we see regular police vehicles, and there's also it looks to appear to be maybe a SWAT type vehicle that's out there in the middle of the street. What we also saw was what we also saw out here. Here they come. It's like the police are on foot. The police are now on foot. They're entering the zone. Okay, I'm ducking down. Police are on foot.
He's gone!
No. It's okay. It's okay. Hold on. I'm not going up. But listen, this is gonna end badly,
That's
bro.
what I'm saying. And listen, these people are drunk and they're out here drinking. I don't want you out there. You can't talk.
Okay. The victim left the premises. The victim has left.
He's gone.
The victim has left.
He's gone.
Officers, the victim is left. Hey, chief, or whoever's on down there, the victim is left. The police have entered the zone. The police have entered the zone. The weapons are out. The police had entered the zone, saying that they came to extract the victim, and so it very well could be the Seattle police mustered their forces outside of the zone until they had the appropriate manpower to come into the zone. I don't know, but now you got another situation because you got the police who are now not necessarily surrounded, but there's definitely there's a lot of people out here. I haven't had to say this one in a long time. Share the stream. This is the police are in the zone. The police are there, and when this hands up is for real now. Okay. The hands up is very much for real. The police have come through. They mustered a small patrol through here of about 7, 8, 9 officers, and they're keeping their perimeter. They have the long guns out, and the police came in. They asked for people to move back so they could extract the victim. I think they were unaware here that the victim had already been extracted from the site internally by the medics. Seattle police have entered into the site, and they're...
Put your gun down!
Hey, he got the spotlight over here. It's okay. So...
Put your guns down!
Hey.
Put your guns down!
So we have our hands up. We didn't have our media. So now, yeah, guys need to stop chasing there. Oh my goodness. So the police come in. Oh my God. Okay, I'm on the corner. I'm okay. Yeah, okay. I'm listening to you, Bobby. I'm listening to you. Don't worry. So you got people here. You got people here. They formed a human chain to try to stop traffic. The flow of individuals over here through this. They've formed a human wall. The purpose of this human wall that we see right here is to build a barrier in between the police. He's just trying to keep everybody close to me. To build a barrier. So what we saw just occurred right here is some of the occupants went to form a human barrier to actually build a barrier in between police and occupants. At this point, we're going across the street We're heading southbound across Pine. People might know Numos if you're from Seattle area. You might know Numos. What we've witnessed right here. Now, this is me personally. All right, I'm on the wall. Don't worry. So what I've witnessed personally, you guys have seen. I got woke up about 20 minutes right now, and somebody was saying that there was a discharge of firearms over here near the zone. Came out, kind of cautiously approached the intersection. And tried to get an understanding as to what is going on. Went down there to the medical tent, and at that point it was very obvious that, a shooting had occurred. Ultimately, walking as fast as I can to be in some slides, man. I wasn't able to get everything together before I came out here with the phone. This is Bobby Stills. And so you see the heavy police presence that's right here along Broadway. And so I'm assuming what has happened. And Bobby's pulling me across the street. We haven't had there hasn't been any activity here with police in a while. So the police came through and they came to extract the shooting victim. By the time the police came in, though, to do the extraction, the victim had already been removed from the internal medic team, I'm assuming on the way to Harborview Medical Center. I know that some of you guys on a scanner has said that there had been a Medic 1 dispatch. There had been a Medic 1 dispatch over there, but Medic 1, and that's what they said that they were waiting for. We heard some of the medics, the staff medics. Okay, it looks like the police might be giving an order to disperse. The police might be giving an order to disperse. I don't know. I can't hear it clearly over here. But what we did see, what appeared to be a scene of a mass confusion, which is typical when you talk about a shooting or a shooting occurring. We now see SPD returning to their vehicles. We see SPD now returning to their vehicles. They very well might be leaving the area right now. I don't know if they're press. This is there's a car here on the corner. Yeah. Bobby would know.
We're getting updates that there's another body in
We got them all out. We got them all out.
Okay, Bobby was there. I was behind. So if Bobby's saying, I would go off of what Bobby's saying.
Omari,
Yes.
stay up against the fucking
Okay. All right. I'm going against the wall.
right here.
Press.
Car right here. So use this car right here.
Okay. All right. We see SPD. We see SPD officers. There goes a sergeant. There goes a sergeant right there. Okay, I'm with you, Bobby. Bro, it ain't always that easy, fam. I'm listening, Bobby. I'm listening. Okay. I'm listening. So now I'm listening. I know. Hey, one thing I can say though, Bobby, is unfortunately this has become normalized.
This is not good.
Unfortunately, I've become normal because I used to be yelling in the mic right now, and really, really calm. Hey man, there's the bare-chested trumpeter. I haven't seen him in a minute.
I don't like this.
All right. And so SPD is attempting now to leave the area. We saw the officers. We saw the officers fall back. We heard the officers say that they had reports that there was another body on the inside. I think you guys heard that there on the stream. SPD's now leaving the area. There's the sergeant back here. There's one car left. The officer it's one car left here. One car left here.
Don't do
It's
this.
one car, man.
Don't do this.
It's one car left
Don't
here.
do this.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hey! Hey! Hey!
What the fuck? Why y'all clapping?
Bro, I had no idea. So, I can tell you this. It's a lot to kind of unpack here. There's some stuff that we witnessed right here on the stream. There's other stuff. Bobby Steels is here. I mean, it looked like he was out there out front. And, I mean, one thing I can say for sure is that it was 7. What we did a Monday to a Monday. And then what's today? So it's
Saturday morning.
So it's Saturday morning, where there was absolutely there was no interaction with police or gun violence or anything out here. What we can say for sure is that one, there was somebody shot. I don't know if they were shot technically inside the barricade or the whatchamacallit of CHOP or outside, but I do know that they were trying to give treatment at the medical tent at CHOP is where they were trying to give treatment at the medical. Okay, there he is. On 12th?
On 11th, but yeah.
Again, is there another body in there?
They ran that way looking towards me.
Is there another body in
I
there?
didn't go look. I was following you guys.
Okay, thank you, Eric. So I got Eric and I got Bobby, which is good. I got Eric and I got Bobby. Yeah, okay. So we're moving up against the wall over here. So back into the zone. So yeah, there's definitely a shooting over here. And then we saw, I don't know if it was what happened with the medics or with Medic 1. We did hear the medics inside here saying that Medic 1 was on the way. We did see a Medic 1 that went eastbound on Pike Street, but we didn't see the Medic 1 enter the zone. Then finally, it looks like they took the victim. Right now, we could say there was at least one victim. They took the victim by truck, most likely to Harborview Medical Center. And for people that are not from Seattle, Harborview Medical Center is a level 1. It's a level 1 trauma center. It's probably one of the best in the world as far as saving lives for people that have experienced a trauma, especially something like a gunshot wound. What we also saw is less than a minute or two after the victim was extracted out of the CHOP by the internal medics, we saw that SPD had mustered a force there on Broadway. This was the first time that we actually saw the police, visibly on the zone or in the zone. There's 7-8 cars out there, and the police, we saw them come out into a circular kind of formation, and they came in and they asked everybody to get back because they came to extract. They came to extract the victim. This is blood here on the sidewalk.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, there's blood here on the sidewalk.
Definitely rest in peace.
When the police came in to do their extraction, the victim had already been transported out of the CHOP, like I said, assuming on the way to Harborview Medical Center. And what we just witnessed there on the other part of the stream was then the police interaction here inside the CHOP. They came in on Pine, 10th and Pine. They then proceeded southbound on Nagel, and then they basically went around the block to where their cruisers were. Their cruisers, as you guys saw, were on Broadway in between Pike and Pine. And we saw the interaction there of the officers of SPD getting into their vehicles and leaving the space. The officer, you might have heard him asking us, he was like, man, we're getting reports that there's another body in here. I'm back inside the zone. Bobby Still said that, told the officer that it was his understanding that everybody was out. They were out of the zone and coming back into the zone right now. You know what I'm saying? I can say that everything is very quiet over here at the medical facility. I think you guys saw earlier in the stream, it was very much a state of chaos over there. There's a lot of people, huddled and people going different directions looking for some kind of emergency services out here in the CHOP. You know what I'm saying? Where? Upper left. So one of our security guys over here is saying that the victim was shot in the upper left, right near the collarbone. Medic one came up Pike Street. Is what I saw was. And so.
I want to go see what happened over here.
So that you're saying there was another shooting, Eric?
Up here on the next block.
So I can tell you right now that clearly, especially for people who have been here at the CHOP, and some of the protesters that I'm seeing right here, it's a very solemn feeling on the ground right here inside of the CHOP. It's quite a few people. You can look at their faces, you can kind of see the disappointment, and some people shock, and I could only imagine various other emotions that might be running through people right here. You know what I'm saying? At the moment, everything is calm. So, but what we're moving eastbound right now on Pine Street. We're getting ready to pass 11th is the first set of lights. 12th is the East Precinct. We got people running this way. Everything cool up there?
Yeah.
We got people moving down the hill. We got at the moment, an unsubstantiated or unconfirmed report of potentially another gunshot right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. Hey, what's up, Max Slug? I'm all right. Yeah, we're okay. Thank you. I think maybe people forgot what it's all about. It's crazy. Yeah, man. It ain't look too good for him, bro. I don't think he gonna make it.
Get him out of here.
They got him out of here. I think you saw the police extraction come through too, but he was out of here before the extraction. So now we're on 11th. What are we looking at?
They didn't catch a shooter. Didn't even take a shooter. So anybody out here still has a gun.
So anybody out here still has a gun. And that's a correct observation. I clearly wanted to move cautiously, even out there, because you know what I'm saying.
I know how this shit goes.
Yeah, well, I kind of fell back because, you know, I mean, it's a difference between being somewhere with a camera when danger occurs and running into danger.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of this footage, the things that we get is just the camera's just on, and it's like, oh wow. But yeah, I mean, it's always foolish to directly run into danger. And now, although we keep hearing that there's nothing wrong and everything is good, we continue to see medical personnel and some security now.
Oh no, they literally threw up about 5 shots right here. While you guys are over there, they threw up about 5 shots over here.
You heard 5 shots?
No, I was right here.
You were right here.
Because you guys were coming down 10th.
Uh-huh.
I'm coming to catch you guys, right?
Okay.
And then you guys get over, and then the shots happen.
Okay.
Right?
So this is a second shooting.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what the officer was referencing. I don't know, because the officer said that, man, he's getting called that there's another body in there. I mean, body very well could mean victim, and casualty. Body might not necessarily mean dead body.
They're putting somebody on the gurney.
There it is right there.
Yep. See?
There it is right there. So Eric called it. So there is, and that's the van right there. And now they're placing someone in the van. They're placing someone in the van right there. They just put somebody very well second. Could be a second gunshot victim. Eric said that he saw. And so now they're telling the van to go. They're telling the van to go. It looks like they put another victim over there, and this very well could be what the officer was referring to when he stopped on Broadway. He said they got a report that there was another body. Okay, and now this van is now leaving. This van is now crossed outside of the CHOP, and I'm assuming that this van is now again on its way to Harborview Medical Center. So anybody at Harborview Medical Center, I don't know if you're in contact, but it looks like there's another incoming up there to you at Harborview. I'm assuming a gunshot victim. And this very well might have been where. Did Medic 1 ever report over here? Is this where Medic 1 came?
No one ever came.
They drove by.
Okay. All right. Yeah, okay, so they have it on their scanner. Okay, so somebody said the scanner says white van. So it looks like that they're very well, you know, they're waiting now at Harborview. I mean, for me, I think that's the only logical place for somebody to go if they've suffered a gunshot injury over here is over to Harborview Medical Center, which is about 6 blocks away. And like I said, the police extraction came in over on Nagel Street, where they came in to try to extract the victim out of there. The victim had already been transported off of Nagel. The first victim, it appears to be 2 victims. The first victim was transported off of Nagel Street, 10th Nagel and in between Pike and Pine, and transported to Harborview, and then coming back up here, and it was Khalid who was over here. On this side, who said that there was a second victim that was out here, that it was a second victim that was out here. And I mean, despite some other reports, this said to the contrary. I mean, that turns out to be the case of what's occurred here. He said that he heard 5 gunshots on 12th Avenue, which is 1 block to the east of us, is what he's saying, is that he heard those gunshots 1 block to the east of us. And so what I can say with confidence right now is it appears to be 2 victims here in the CHOP this evening. 2 victims. They're now looking for shell casings.
All we can say is welcome to a day in the hood.
And now they're
Oh, you didn't say that, man.
what's that?
Literally, this is the reason why we fight and protest. What Bobby's saying is this is what happens in the hood. They'll come and kill us, but they won't. They won't come and protect us.
And right, and
You
that's
know what I'm saying? So this 9-minute wait time is the same thing that happens in Detroit. The same thing that happens in any ghetto across America. You know.
right.
But if they would have saw the shooter, they would.
Right now they're spreading out. They're looking for shell casings out here on the ground. Looking for shell casings. This is 11th though, Eric.
11, sorry.
So this is what you meant was 11th and not 12th.
Yeah, my bad.
Okay. Because that's what I was looking for is up the hill. So this is one block from the other shooting that occurred.
Where you going?
He has a flashlight.
Okay.
So now what we find is people out here. They're looking for shell casings on the ground. And so, like I said, looks like they found a casing. They found a shell casing over here. Again, for people that are just joining this stream, coming to you from what's now called the CHOP, the Capitol Hill Organized Protest, Capitol Hill area of Seattle, Washington, and the United States of America. And what we've seen occur here tonight is multiple shootings. Multiple shootings occur here, basically within the CHOP, or you could say on the CHOP border. I personally saw 2 different extractions of victims or evacuations of victims here by the internal medical staff. After the first victim was evacuated, he's telling them nobody should touch the shell casing. That's the conversation over there right now. After the first victim was evacuated, what happened is that the Seattle Police Department mustered on Broadway and Pine, and they sent in an extraction force for them to be able to extract the first victim. That victim had already left the area, and the Seattle Police Department then basically returned to their car and left the area. An officer, when they were leaving the area, asked me and Bobby Stills, was there another body in there? And to the best of our knowledge at the time, everybody had been evacuated. Came back into the zone and bumped into Eric. And Eric said that he was right over here. I mean, he didn't witness anything close up, but he said that he saw, the commotion around gunshots and things like that on 11th. At the time he said 12th, though. You might have heard it on the stream. Eric said 12th. And so we came back over here, and what we did witness was medics, again, putting another victim. Don't know what state that person might be, that individual might be. Don't know if it was a man or a woman. We do know that the first victim, the shooting victim, was a man. Let's move down here. We're gonna go and let these guys work and whatever they're doing. We do know that the first shooting victim was a man, and my understanding it was shot in the shoulder area, but it seemed to be a fairly serious wound. I don't know if it was because of location, caliber of gun, closeness of the shot, or whatever, but there was a lot of confusion in getting that victim out of the zone. The medics said that what had occurred is they were coordinating with Medic 1. We did see Medic 1 traveling eastbound on Pike Street. Ultimately, the internal medics, like I said, took that victim most likely to Harborview Medical Center. the second victim here. It's very quiet on this back street, to be honest with you, compared to the first victim. The first victim, there was a lot of, it looked like a lot of friends or things like that, or people who had just seen it. And their case and trying to get them over to Harborview. So there's something that's going on over here at the chop. At the Bobby Morris Field. They hit me with the trivia. They was like, nah, man, technically Cal Anderson's the grass area, but the field was named after this dude that won all these championships at the high school, Broadway, like back in the 30s. Like, man, don't be disrespecting his legacy. This isn't Cal Anderson Field. So we're gonna head down here. I can tell anybody this is that, what's occurred here this evening. And we still don't have all the details here. We're trying to, clearly this is a fast, this is a situation that's rapidly developing. But what I can tell you this evening is I'm fairly certain that the state of things here at the chop is bound to change. It's bound to change. It's now 3:12 in the afternoon. No additional. Yeah, there's no. It looked like there was one victim. There's one victim. Okay, hold on. Let me read posts. I thought they didn't need police. So. Joey's looking for me. All right. Yeah. Joey's here. All right. So look, guys, I scanned some of these comments, and I know people have a lot of opinions or whatever right now. And I'll be honest with you, you guys have the luxury for any comment or any direction or anything. I'm really just trying to do my best to be consistent with our level of coverage here with the best resources that we have. So, you know what I'm saying? People should also understand that when it comes to a violent crime, and a gun and things like that, there's a lot of sensitivities. Hey, what's up, Joey?
What's up, guys?
That's my guy right there, by the way. Yeah, and we're already getting all kinds of different texts from people with all kinds of different things that are coming out. This is and so
half the capacity of people more than half already left. So you had enough. And we in this together. They have money on our heads. They have literal money on our heads. We don't need anything to them right now. Okay? So, with that being said, you gotta protect this. You see the hustle, crap, and whatever going on.
yeah, it's
They're gonna come in. Forget that passive aggressive. Man, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. No, we got guns around here. We got people.
wow.
They got shots. We gonna stand our ground.
So this speaker right here is saying,
Watching them do that crap, the police come, and they don't care about any of us. So if expect for them to care about us if we don't care about ourselves? This is our territory right here. They got money on our heads. Do you understand? Stop that passive aggressive one. It wasn't me. What do you? Oh, they didn't send them. It was literally. They didn't send them. They was literally watching some hood crap happen right outside of our precinct.
Also, this is what happens when you have. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So let me here we go. I'm gonna reset this for everybody. Here's what we do know. Around 2:20, 2:15 a.m., whatever time this stream started, so I was woken up. You know, I mean, I went to sleep. You know what I'm saying? I went to sleep, and I was woken up. They said that a shooting had occurred, and so I mean, I'm out here. Only thing I grabbed was the slides. I didn't even really get to get dressed, and then this vest, and came out here. And what we found was that there was a victim at Rancho Bravo. That's the area that where the medic tent is. That person had been shot clearly at least one time. I don't know if there was any additional wounds that occurred. There was a lot of appeared to be confusion in regards to them trying to evacuate that victim. I know that there was at one point some of the medics were saying that they were waiting for medic one, and then there was another group that were just trying to extract him with the vehicle on hand. Several minutes occurred, lots of confusion. And then ultimately, the medics here transported. They evacuated that victim using their vehicle, and I'm assuming took him to Harborview Medical Center.
Can I grab you like that? You're good to go.
I'm upset.
What? Hold on one second.
I'm trying my hardest not to cry. Because we got a bunch of people saying they're white allies and they're shooting us.
You're lit, okay?
On a one holiday, we get a damn year.
I don't need that, but I
One holiday.
We haven't heard any mention. We haven't heard any mention of race of shooter or victim.
I'm really honestly asking.
She's saying that.
I don't know you. Yeah, there we go.
I'm gonna wait till she's done speaking and talk to her. It appears maybe she might be an eyewitness, so we'll see what happens.
Only our bodies dying right now.
Anyways, after the first victim
And you wonder
was
why.
evacuated, the Seattle Police Department mustered on Broadway and Pine, and they sent in an extraction force of it looked like about maybe 7 to 10 officers. That force, they left their vehicles there on Broadway. They proceeded eastbound on Pine 1 block to Nagel, at which time they were met by some of the protesters. They said they asked the protesters to clear the path so they could extract the victim. And at that point, the first victim had already been evacuated, so there was no extraction that needed to occur. The police rallied over at Rancho Bravo, and then at that point, you could see here on this stream that as the police fell back from Rancho Bravo, there were several protesters that also followed behind them. Some of the protesters then created a human chain to give a buffer between the officers and the protesters. Seattle police got back in their cars on Broadway, and then they proceeded to leave the area. Before leaving the area, though, we did hear an officer say, "Is there another body in there?" And at the time, we were aware of this victim who was right here. Apparently, they were also getting 911 emergency response calls to 11th and Pike. And as we walked back from 10th and Pine.
Watch your 6. No, stay. But watch your 6.
As we walked up to 11th and Pine and then turned southbound on 11th, at the middle of the block there at 11th, what we saw is another victim that was down. It was down there, and we also saw that victim. We also saw that victim being extracted or evacuated that time in a white van, and also with a gunshot wound. And assuming that victim also went out to Harborview Medical Center. Went to the Harborview Medical Center. And then we also saw the people over there looking for gun shell casings. And so, yeah, I see that this stream has been shared probably by quite a few people. So let me introduce myself. My name is Omari Salisbury, and I'm actually an independent journalist who's been covering the protests since day one. Back up 2-9! I've been independent journalist. I've been out here as an independent journalist covering these protests since May 29th here in the city of Seattle. So, you know, I don't have an affiliation out here. I think people have been telling me, if you've been following my streams or my reporting, that, you know, I'm not with the protesters, I'm not with BLM, I'm not with the city. I'm just an independent journalist who's out here and trying to be able to actually share in real time with the public exactly what we're seeing and exactly what's occurring out here. So, you know, that's our position out here, is trying to give this information out here to the general public in real time. You know, like I said, I see that there's a considerable amount of new shares on this stream. So right now at about 3:17, 3:18, whatever time it is right now, what we see is that I guess you would say what we've been referring to in some of our reporting, lightheartedly referring to as the citizens of CHOP. It looks like, you know, they've rallied over here at the middle of the playfield, right up here adjacent to Cal Anderson Park, for maybe an impromptu town meeting or something of the sort here. This has been very interesting here. So I can say this, is that after following these protests now since May 29th, actually the very first day protests started in the International District, is how long that we've actually been following this. I can tell you that, I mean, we were there for every game changer. You know, and clearly it's real life, but so game might not necessarily be whatever the best word, but I mean, we've seen definitely the game changers out here. And I can say this, is that, you know, tomorrow morning, and especially, I mean, we'll see what happens with these gunshot victims and what their status is. But, you know what I'm saying, this very well, as far as CHOP and what these people are doing here, you know, it's I wouldn't expect things to be the same out here moving forward. And I don't know if that's necessarily going to come from inside of CHOP or outside of CHOP, with the city, with the three amigos who we talked to, which is Chief Scoggins, which is Chief Scoggins, fired Chief Scoggins. We probably expect to see somebody like him out here tomorrow. Yeah. What, the vest? Oh yeah, no, they brought me the vest way back when the the barricade was still up. But yeah.
So say your piece. Say your piece.
I'm just gonna go grab the mic. Go when I go.
Give me a second. Yeah, no problem. So someone said they want to be able to hear the beat. It's been a bit up and down at the moment. Let me see if we can get in there for 1 second though.
You don't hear about Seattle, areas that matter that are on the map. There are others, just like me, who've been detained, arrested, abused. I lost 3 of my fucking friends to this shit. Now tonight, when I witnessed what I witnessed, I was trying to be on the front lines blocking. I had people come up to me, push me out the way, say I'm not part of the message. No, I get you angry. I'm angry. But breaking a cop's windows, that shit ain't gonna work. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna see it on TV and they're gonna make it 10 times worse. And this place you built right here, where I met people today who helped me for the first time. I met new people who I never met
This guy's funny.
for the first time. That's powerful. I feel like I have a message here. I have a purpose. I never felt that way. I don't know what motivates you all, but I'm trying to pass a message. These cops, you have taken too many lives. The people are angry, but at the end of the day, I get you angry, but the violence you do it, it's not right. I get you angry. Hey, you're all talking back there.
What?
This is a message. This ain't passing the weed.
Y'all are saying the same thing.
I'm saying something. You think I'm not saying something? I'm not trying to get aggressive.
Y'all right there when you're done. What are we talking
Hey,
about?
I'm not trying to disrespect you. I respect you. I don't know who you are.
Wrong shit.
He talking about nothing, bro.
That's what it is out here. A lot of people, he said it. He said, man, I've never felt like I had a purpose. There's a lot
I'm not
of
trying to
people out
disrespect
here
you.
finding their purpose in protest.
I know what you want to do. I get it.
And y'all saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Y'all saying the same fucking thing, too.
My point is, at the end of the day, violence with more violence is going to create more issues. It's not going to help you get your message across when they see people, windows being broken by the police. That's not how you do it. I have lived with a white family. I was adopted. I get both sides. That's my message.
Seriously. Please. I'm not supposed to everyone. I need it. Move up here where they have a mic where everyone can hear. Right now, this is the beat. Say nothing. You gonna talk about the shit? You can say something.
PA system. You got a whole PA set up. I mean, if everybody was silent, you can use the voice.
Chill. If you're gonna speak on the microphone, say something to people. Don't bullshit.
You were saying the same thing you're saying.
We're all angry. I know I said y'all. I was gonna feel weak.
They're requesting now people to move across the play field over here to where there's a PA system. Mark.
On Juneteenth.
What?
On
Do you have any idea? You know, there was a second victim.
It's two?
Yeah, there was a second victim that we saw on 11th and Pike. We saw that it was placed into a white van and looks like transported over to Harborview. Then after that, they did a shell casing search, and they found some shell casings over there.
It's absolutely disgusting. These people didn't come here because they wanted to change the road. They come here to party and fuck shit up. Literally.
Everybody's got that going on right now. But really, it's a really sad day because it was Juneteenth, and we ended up losing a brother out of it.
I know, man.
So check this out, man.
Homicide investigator. Does that mean? Does anybody have any report from Harborview? Somebody said homicide investigator on the scene.
It hurts me because you know what? Yeah, I knew that brother could die.
Someone reported now on the microphone. They said he knew the person who died. So very well, we can't confirm that there's a fatality. We can only confirm that there was shooting or shootings that occurred.
Everybody's halfway fucked up and buzzed out here, and that isn't our message. That's not our purpose. That's not what we're out here doing.
That's Farmer.
And I'm sick of it. You know,
Guy named Farmer. You guys might have saw. Scanner said DOA at Harborview Medical Center. So we got
So check this out, man. I know everybody's grieving and going through some pain.
Is there any word on the second victim? I'm gonna just take a step back here.
But I think it's time that we sit down and unite as one.
They're talking about
Divide
united
the
here.
relationship as far as racism, black, white, yellow, orange, purple. And really relay this message out and get our voices heard. Because us sitting on our ass and not marching, not going out here and sitting here fighting for what we're sitting here what we're out here for.
One DOA, second victim is responsive. All right, so they're saying what they're saying on here is the scanner is saying one DOA at Harborview and the other one is responsive.
And I go out and I talk to people. I see what's going on with everybody. Some people new, some people old. But then I came out here last time and I said, it's time for us to step up and be this capstone.
Fatality was a 30-year-old
now,
black
being this
male.
capstone takes responsibility, takes courage, takes time to step out of
you
your
guys,
shoe and into
look
a
at this stream.
different direction.
Eric's up front over there.
And when everybody's out here and having this misdirection,
So we've got
it's fucking everything up.
one DOA as reported here. The speaker right there, Farmer, is also as well saying they're speaking in the past tense.
And I was just over here at Juneteenth sitting here having a good time, laughs with family, kids.
Yeah, what they're saying there.
Youth elders.
One DOA, okay.
It's time we start making a stand and responsibility. I'm going to put it out here. No more drinking. This is time to educate.
Come on.
No more doing this stupid shit out here. Because we're out here in a pandemic. People are getting sick. People are going through this every single day. And I'm proud that you guys are still out here sitting here fighting this fight, but it's getting to that point to where we need to start fighting this fight out here with the goddamn government, the SPD.
Right.
These people that are sitting here taking everything away from us, that we can't sit there and be substantial and live. So, nah, this ain't okay. This ain't okay. This is not okay. Hey, man, you in the back sitting here laughing like it's the joke, man. It's not. This is where we start correcting people and taking forth our actions and being held accountable because you know what? We ain't going to be able to lead this fight if everybody's thinking it's a fucking joke.
Check yourself or you wreck yourself. Right. Thank you. He's out of pocket.
So check this out, man. Starting tomorrow, and this is going to go live, I want everybody to call their friends and call their families. And we about to sit out here 12:30, 1 o'clock, and we're getting together and we're marching all around this goddamn city. There's no sitting on our asses anymore. That's sitting here playing around and playing these little games. It's not time anymore. It's not. It's time to step up and be leaders. Stop playing this follow game. I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm sitting here seeing somebody sitting here dying right in front of me on the goddamn table. and it's a brother, and it's a white man that shot him. So if this ain't opening up your earlobes from race to your feet, to your head, to your ears, to your nose, to your mouth, you better soak up this game and what's going on out here and read that King County Equity Now. Read it. And teach it to the next person. This isn't okay. Everybody sits out here like it's a fucking game. It's not a game. How do you know if you can look around? It could have been one of you all that got shot. It could have been me that got shot.
Bullets don't have names.
But you know what? 12 o'clock, I'm going to be here. You better tell your friends and family to come out here, and we're marching for this. I'm not playing this anymore. Everybody wants to sit there and play, oh, who's the leader, who's this, who's that? Well, I'm going to step up to that position because you know what? Somebody's got to do it, man. And if that means me being on the front line and something happening, then at least I know I stood for something out here. And I'm standing out for everything and opening up this door of racism.
Amen.
Opening up this door of people hiding behind this and not communicating and talking. I know a lot of people can say their opinions and say what they want to say, but we're going to say it out here at 12 o'clock tomorrow.
I'm going to be here.
So with this is a march. We're going to get our voices heard because I'm tired of this. Because Jenny Durkin and Chief Best and all them people, they ain't even awoke yet. They sleeping in their goddamn house.
Right.
They ain't out here 24/7 seeing what's going on out here with our community. We're hurting. This just puts a bigger blow and an impact out here. It's not a game no more. I know everybody else got something to say. Everybody's got feelings. Everybody's got hurt, pain, resentment. Or people are confused about it. But that's why we start talking to people. We start communicating. Ain't no more drinking out here. Ain't no more getting fucked up. Ain't no more none of that. You lose focus. I see it out here every day. I sit out here. Everybody just fucking around. We're not doing that no more. We got a community to build, and if this community ain't being built and it's looking like this, sloppy, then y'all better check and correct yourself first before you come out here trying to correct somebody else. So I'm gonna leave it with that. Y'all better be mourning. This is sad. This isn't a joke. This isn't a game. And it's the same thing that our SPD are doing to us. And yet we're sitting here doing it to ourselves. So y'all better stay woke. This ain't a game no more. We out here for a real probable cause to be fighting. Fighting for what's rightfully ours. Because I know I ain't the only one in this goddamn pandemic of COVID-19 or struggling out here trying to make ends meet. But then you got all these people out here sitting here volunteering their time and effort and energy day in and day out, 17, 18, 19 fucking hours, if not all day, from day one. And y'all run on them like they're nothing. So tomorrow, I better see each and one of y'all faces out here at 12. We're leaving at 12:30 and we're marching this whole damn city. So get your rest. It's going down.
Meeting here every day. No one's on the same page. It's during us apart. We gotta meet here every day and talk as a group.
All right. So we're gonna move over here. So it's, security is advising that we move out of this space, and so as usual, I'm gonna go and listen to them. So as we move across Cal Anderson Park or Bobby Miller Playfield, just to set the scene again.
Hello, everyone.
A suspect.
My name is Alvito. Do I have the right to speak?
Okay, they're saying somebody is saying, it came in on the other messenger here, that they're saying that they feel the suspect's at large. He's over there with a vest. So again, to set the scene here. Huh? Oh, yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good, man. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, God. God bless you. Be safe. Like I said, we've been covering this story really from as many sides as possible since the story of the Seattle protest now, which has evolved into in the chop. There's a very loud bang we just heard right now. Let's go. I don't know what that was. Let's go. So, like I said, we've been covering this story now of the protest since the first day here in Seattle on May 29th. And what we're reporting tonight is there was 2 people shot this evening here inside of the chop. It looks like I can't confirm whether the shootings happened together. It doesn't appear like it because on one street there would look like there were shell casings found, and the shell casings found on Nagel, and there was also shell casings that were found on 11th. So because there was 2 different sets of shell casings and the locations of the victim, I'm no expert in all that, but I'll go ahead and make the assumption for now that 2 separate shootings occurred in the chop, maybe particularly not too far apart. The first victim, people here are saying that the first victim was dead before even leaving the zone. All I know is when we got this camera up, there was a lot of confusion regarding the first victim and how he was going to be evacuated from the chop. I'm gonna just shoot back over there and then go up the hill. And so when we got over here, the white tents you'll see here in the background, that's Rancho Bravo. That's also the area where the medics are at. This is Rancho Bravo over there. And so you guys will see here on the video, I mean, it was a case of pandemonium, to say the least, as to what occurred, where people were trying to transport the first victim, who several people are saying was already deceased here on the scene. Ultimately, he was transported out of the chop with an internal medics vehicle, and they took that victim over to Harborview. I'm assuming, I think they said Harborview. And what we're getting reports of is that he was DOA, which means dead on arrival, there at Harborview Medical Center. A few minutes later, SPD mustered up there on that red light. That's Broadway. That's Broadway and Pine. Seattle Police Department, they mustered up there, and what happened was Seattle Police sent in an extraction force, and they asked people to move so they could extract the victim out of the chop. When they got in, though, people told them that victim had already been extracted. Now, what a lot of people didn't know, including us, until we saw Eric, was that it appeared to be a second gunshot victim that was just 1 block up on 11th and in between Pike and Pine. And so I'm walking up that way at 11th and Pike and Pine, we saw, and I guess you guys saw it with us, we saw a second victim being put into, again, another local vehicle here. And that person was again evacuated over to Harborview Medical Center. So, and so basically, what we saw here with our own eyes through this lens right here on this iPhone is that we saw one victim, the first victim, being transported out, who apparently was DOA. We saw the second victim being put inside of, like I said, a local vehicle and transported. After that victim was transported, the one that was on 11th Avenue between Pike and Pine, They did a search for gun shell casings, and there was at least one casing at the time that we were there. It was at least one casing found, and of course they're searching for gun shell casings with flashlights. So you know what I'm saying. There very well could have been various more gun shell casings. After that, what we saw is the people who are still remaining at CHOP, and by the way, the population here got real small real quick, but the people who are still here at CHOP right now that have gathered over there on the ball field, they've gathered over there at the ball field, and they're actually having a meeting. They're talking about perhaps marching or demonstrating or doing something tomorrow. There was also some talk about different reconciliation and everything else. What I can tell you is this, as somebody who's, like I said, been reporting on this matter, kind of like I said, from day one, from May 29th, and then all the way that Saturday in downtown Seattle, 8 days when the police had the Western Barricade here. And then now since the Western Barricade lifted, there was 1 day of who knows what this is, and then it turned to Chaz, and now to CHOP. What I can tell you is that, what's occurred here this evening in CHOP, that there's no way to think that this isn't going to be, it's going to definitely change the situation that's going on here. Very well as well change the city's position as to what's going on here at CHOP. It very well may change, like I said, the protesters' position as well, as in regards our protesters or occupiers going to continue to be in this space. Or some of these people, they're like, hey, well, you know what, it's gotten too serious for me, or some protesters going to, double down into the space. We've heard, if you guys have been following our reporting here, and we've if you guys know me, we've spent a lot of time talking to everybody here. So we talked to our protesters, we talked to people against protesters, we talked to the Proud Boys, we talked to the religious people, we talked to residents, we talked to everybody, because having an independent lens and an independent viewpoint to be able to get as many perspectives as possible is important, and I think that that's our responsibility here. And one thing that we have heard from some of the residents here, one of their biggest complaints is that, late night noise and, people being out in the streets late at night, or people drinking in the zone, or things like that. And so, there's already a sentiment amongst a lot of the neighbors here who, in all honesty, when you talk to most people here, they're like, yeah, well, this is Capitol Hill. A lot of people watching nationally, internationally. I see Twitch has picked up the feed. So, there's literally tens of thousands of people watching now globally. Is that, Capitol Hill has always been known as a very progressive type of neighborhood. And it's also been a neighborhood that's had a lot of protests here. You know what I'm saying? Over the years, this was traditionally, and I guess you could say still is, the LGBTQ, neighborhood. Over the recent years, there's been a lot of displacement with that. But, the progressive nature, I guess you would say, of this neighborhood and everything else, it is a neighborhood that's seen a fair share of protests and a good fair share of people who feel like, they have a capacity to see what's going to happen here with the CHOP. This is also a neighborhood on the flip side of things. I'm okay, thank you. I need to move around, thank you. This is also a neighborhood that, this is also a neighborhood that very well might be tired. There's this area right here, the CHOP, so a lot of people might not realize this, is that it is a residential area, and it's also a very big commercial area as well. With small businesses, there's a few national chains that are over here, but the majority of businesses in this neighborhood are small businesses And, it's a good number of people that actually live in this neighborhood who, one way or another, that they want things to stop. You know what I'm saying? Clearly that doesn't speak for everybody, but it would be disingenuous to you as the viewer not to be able to bring in the different viewpoints here in the conversation about different sentiments here in the CHOP and, how people feel about it and everything else. And I say all that to say this is that, there's quite a bit of people who have been sitting on their hands, so to speak, kind of be like, hey, well, man, let's just see what happens. And clearly something happened today. And I don't know, again, what the problem that we've been reporting on here, and not just us. There's a lot of media outlets here in Seattle, nationally and internationally, is, leadership on the side of the CHOP. And what we saw right here tonight as well is you saw this guy Farmer, who we actually had on the stream before. He's like, well, man, if nobody's going to lead, then I'm going to lead. That very well might work for him, or it might not. I don't know. That's to be determined. But the bigger question is now, when the city responds to this tomorrow, when the mayor and the police chief, because clearly they have to say something tomorrow. There has to be something. But who do they meet with?
Farmer.
That's the big question, and that's continued to be the question. And I think that's one of the things that where there's continue to be an issue here is because there has not been any kind of formalized leadership within the CHOP. I know that in speaking to them, because we're always trying to talk to, like, man, who's the leader? Tell us, like, what's up? What are you guys planning? What are you guys trying to do? The lights are now off. Is it 4 a.m.? So now the lights are now being cut off over at, it's my job to give all the viewpoints here. Like I said, man, I don't have a horse in this race. You know what I'm saying? My job is just to report as I see it. And, and that's one of the most important things I could do is, let everybody speak and get as many viewpoints here. But a big problem that we're talking about tomorrow is, who does Chief Best talk to tomorrow? Who does Mayor Durkin talk to tomorrow? Because, although there's been a lot of success, I wouldn't say success, but there's been a lot of progress with operational communications. And in that, we talk about Fire Chief Scoggins. We talk about S.Dot Director Zimbabwe. And we talk about Ari Mara, who is over at Public Utilities. They're in constant negotiation around here over operational things. Hey, we want to move a barrier over here. We want to open this road, or we want to do this, or we want to do that. And Fire Chief Scoggins and, basically the fire department, S.Dot, and Public Utilities have been out here every day from day one since the Seattle Police Department left the East Precinct. And actually, I think we're on a global audience over here. They've routed it, so I'll give you guys a shot of the East Precinct before I go back inside. Question remains: who does Mayor Durkin talk to tomorrow? Who does Chief Best talk to tomorrow? Who out here amongst these citizens of CHOP actually is the authority to turn it on or turn it off? This is what people have taken pride in, everything being a leaderless resistance, so to speak, thus far. And that's also been a fundamental problem over here, is that even as media, a lot of times we're not able to get a clear understanding as to what's going on. This is the East Precinct. This is a precinct that was abandoned by the Seattle Police Department over a week ago. You guys know the exact date at this time. All these days are running together. It's kind of late out here. But this is the East Precinct. This is the current state of the East Precinct. That first red light that you see flashing right there That's 11th Avenue. The second red light that you see down there that's solid, that's Broadway. That's looking westbound into downtown Seattle. So again, this is the East Precinct. A lot of people thought when the police pulled out of the East Precinct that what was going to occur here was that it would go up in flames. We saw that in Minneapolis with Precinct 3. We saw at Precinct 3 that, it caught fire and went all the way up, literally. But this is the East Precinct right here. Chief Best has said that she wants this precinct back. Chief Best also said that it was never her intention to leave this precinct. She told her officers that they fought for this precinct, and she was ordered to abandon the precinct. And the only person that can order a police chief was the mayor. Most people might know, in most of America, I think in all of America, police chiefs are appointed and, sheriffs are elected. So, of course, a county sheriff has more autonomous power because they're responsible to the voters than a police chief, because a police chief is not elected, but a sheriff is. So Chief Best said that, she wants her precinct back. Chief Best said that, for her, the blue sky was, hey, let's have some dialogue and go with that. And they were, to be honest with you, and talking to the city and talking with the mayor's office yesterday, they said that they were waiting, again, like I said, for leadership to kind of formalize here over in the CHOP. So the discussion about the police regaining entry into the East Precinct could, into the East Precinct could occur. It's gonna be early morning out here, you know what I'm saying? And a day we're done. And a day that, I was just telling these guys that on the last stream, I was like, man, I finally get to sleep in. I was like, yeah, it's Saturday, I get to sleep in. It's gonna be all good.
It's always eating barbecue at Jim's.
Yeah, we got, and it's been, it's no sleep for the weary out here, you know what I'm saying? But no rest for the wicked is true. So, like I said, this is the East Precinct, and this is when they talk about the bargaining chip and everything else. And, be clear, as someone who's, like I said, been following this story from day one, there would be no Chaz or CHOP 100% if this precinct was not abandoned. The abandonment of the East Precinct is actually what created a vacuum here for this, for the autonomous zone, and then the organized protest and everything else to occur. So, we'll run this past everybody one more time, or we need to go and regroup ourselves and actually get some sleep. So basically, about 2:30 is when I was awoken, and at the time somebody said that there was gunshots being fired. So kind of went out my shorts and some slides. We used to call them flip-flops, the shorts, slides, and bulletproof vest to be able to try to see and cover what was going on. When I got down there to Nagel and Pine, it was just chaos. We saw that, clearly there was something very wrong. And it turns out that, somebody had been shot there, and it turns out actually died there. And they were trying to get that person. They were in the medic tent at Rancho Bravo, and they were trying to get that person to the hospital. Apparently and I can't confirm this part, but apparently into what some of the medics were saying, they tried to coordinate with Medic 1, but clearly that coordination just did not occur. They weren't able to coordinate with Medic 1 inside the zone at that point. at that point, what happened is that the medics here inside of the zone transported that individual, who people are saying here was already deceased on the scene. They transported that individual to Harborview Medical Center. About 2 minutes, no more than 5, I think it was about 2 minutes, the Seattle Police Department mustered their forces up there on Broadway, and they sent in what could just best be described as an extraction force. As they proceeded eastbound from Broadway towards Nagel, over a speaker, they asked for the crowd to back up so they could extract. They could, either them personally or either lead a corridor in to extract the victim. When the police had reached here into the scene, what they found was that first victim had actually already been transported out to Harborview Medical Center. The police circled the block back to Broadway, and then basically got inside of their cruisers and left the area. It was a bit of a toss-up there with the police and some of the protesters. But I mean, over covering this from all these weeks, we've definitely seen worse as far as interaction there. And as far as us at that point, I found Bobby Steele's over by Rancho Bravo, but then we came back in here. Eric said that he had heard some additional shots fired. Additionally, we thought it was on 12th, which is the block right here that the East Precinct is on. It turns out that it was actually on 11th, which is one block down where the flashing red light is. And we proceeded southbound on 11th into the barricade area, and we could see that there were medics there that were working on a victim. The medics at that point put that victim inside of a van, assuming that van as well went over to Harborview Medical Center, which isn't very far from there. Then began searching for gun shell casings. From there, we took you guys over there to the field at Cal Anderson, where the people who were still on site, I'm assuming a lot of people might have got out of Dodge, you know what I'm saying, after witnessing this here this evening. But the people who were remaining came over there to the playfield, and they had a discussion there in regards to, one was about reconciliation and understanding, the other one was about taking some kind of action in regards to potential protest or something tomorrow. Don't have a lot of details on that. So, man.
I'm gonna close it out. Can we show them the lobby where they tried to break into over here? I got permission to show the lobby. Can we walk over here?
Yeah. So 1 second, we're gonna follow Bobby. And this is the thing. So earlier today, so we're gonna come over here. Okay. And so this was the other issue. There was. Yeah, no problem. So.
But like that.
So.
I didn't go there.
So this is the lobby here. Yeah, we got some Powerades. So earlier today, you know what I'm saying, even this space right here, this was actually fenced up, and there was a group here earlier that wanted to gain access to the lobby of the East Precinct. Their position is that the lobby area is public space, and wanted to actually gain entrance here into the lobby area here into the East Precinct. That didn't necessarily occur. But this is I mean, man, this is it's been an interesting day here. I'm just gonna put the phone down real quick. So there's some of the actual security people here, not our security, but other security. We're gonna be able to show you here through the window. But yeah, so that lobby right there was a point of contention earlier. What they, and when I say they, I mean there's so many different factions of people within the actual CHOP But so it was a faction or a group that, wanted to occupy that space there inside of the precinct. And this right here, I would say the shooting occurred within the 2 o'clock hour. I know the exact time. So this is the abandoned East Precinct. See, there is where the sergeants park, huh? So, the attempt earlier to enter the lobby area here at the East Precinct, they were not able to enter, but they were able to enter a space where those chairs are right now. There was fencing earlier, and they said that they called it an easement. So I'm going to put the phone down now. Just give me 1 second.
Right? It's a little bit more peaceful. Everyone's able to come. But I do feel like some people are here for the wrong reasons.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you guys for Yeah, no problem. So this is where it's at right now, guys. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so that's where we were just at over there in the garage area. And yeah, we'll just get a corner there. They can see that window on the left side of the screen. This is the East Precinct. I've been saying for a while that this story covering the protest here in Seattle, it's like peeling an onion, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just another layer of stuff, and big questions for tomorrow morning, even within a few hours here, again, is what's going to happen in East Union, huh? Again, a big question here is what's going to happen 222. So 222 and 251. So that means that if this information they're giving is correct, that means that while guys were actually circling the block over there, that's when the second 911 call came in. But things to think about for people who actually follow this stuff is that tomorrow morning, or actually in a few hours today, the Mayor Durkin, Chief Best, people, they're going to have to want to address the city. People are going to want to know, like, hey, man, what's going on here? Too, so it'd be interesting to hear, what the mayor and what the chief have to say about what has occurred. Thing number two is like, man, in order, whatever this is or whatever it's going to be, if there is no actual leadership over here in this chop, and we've been trying to find a cohesive leadership or where it's going to be. I mean, who's the city supposed to even talk to? Who is it that they're supposed to sit down with over here? And then another thing is a lot of people might not be aware is that there are the non-lethal weapons. So say people want to clear out. They're like, okay, well, we want to clear these people out of CHOP. The Seattle City Council passed a law that bans all non-lethals for the most part. So it isn't like, the police can come in here and clear this out with tear gas. They can't come in here and clear it out with pepper spray. They can't come in here and clear it out with rubber bullets. And I mean, their force is actually limited. And so, like I said, how is this thing? It's just an onion that keeps peeling over here. So even if the consensus is that, okay, well, man, that say people are like, okay, they want CHOP cleared. What options are there to clear it? I mean, so that's the flip side of it. There's so many different angles and perspectives to be able to approach this with. And, what I'm saying, I would say for people following the story, I mean, it's good to look at all the different options and angles here, and see what happens. And I don't know if the city of Seattle's ban is banned. They're banning the use of those things, specifically of non-lethal, specifically to the SPD, or is it banned by any law enforcement that comes into or operates within the Seattle Police? I say that because they like National Guard. You know what I'm saying? Does it apply to them? Does that apply to the state police and things like that? So I don't want to put the cart ahead of the horse, but, you know, like I said, for people who are really following this, the interesting conversation tomorrow is going to be is who exactly is the mayor and Chief Best? Who are they going to be talking to over here? Because at this point, I know, like I said, they were waiting for leadership and things like that to emerge, but I got a feeling that there's going to be a lot of pressure, down there in City Hall by people here, in the Capitol Hill area, and maybe just the general citizens of Seattle to kind of get a grip or understanding as to what is occurring over here. And on the protester side of things, it's like they're gonna, if there's gonna be a leadership, now is definitely the time. I want to thank everybody for joining in tonight. This was definitely an unexpected live, but you know what I'm saying, I want to be able to tell people, it's like, hey man, if you like our type of reporting here from the CHOP, go ahead and like our page, ConvergeMedia. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, sure.
So what happened was, I heard through the grapevine, my guy right there, he was saying it was the rules of the street that happened tonight. It was pretty much the rules of the street. Some guy was snitched or something like that, told on some people, they knew where he was, and it's unfortunate that it happened down here at this kind of protest situation. Things got out of hand, and it's gonna look really bad. I don't know if he made it, and there's another person that got shot.
Well, the first victim died, the one in Rancho Bravo.
Yeah, he didn't make it, unfortunately.
The second victim, they're saying, is responsive at Harborview Medical Center.
Okay, great news for that. However, one person is already deceased. I'm sorry for their families. My heart goes out for him and his families and all his loved ones. And the things of the street is, the rules of the street, I guess, cannot be broken, and you cannot hide.
Right. Well, so the thing is, thank you for your analysis.
Yes, thank you.
You know what I'm saying? The thing is that, for us as a media here, we need to confirm quite a few things. And I'm not in a position to confirm those this morning. So, this gentleman here has offered some analysis in regards to what he thinks that the motives were. But I think that what we want to do as well is hit the street here early in the morning and be able to talk to some additional eyewitnesses out here as well. Because I think, at least for the first shooting, there seemed to be an abundance of eyewitnesses that are out there and hit it up. So we just got a video that came in as well, so we'll look at that. Look, we're gonna get out of here, everybody. Like I said, man, if you find the level of reporting and everything here at ConvergeMedia, something that benefits you, or being able to keep an eye on things here, I invite you to like our page. We broadcast, we've been following this CHOP story for quite a while, and we'll continue to follow it. And we'll be updating you tomorrow. We probably expect to hear from city officials tomorrow as well, and we'll be down there and talk to eyewitnesses on the scene. Man, wherever you guys are out, God bless and be safe. Have a good evening.